So the second announcement and topic that I want to cover is when I think about what inspires me and what inspires us and what we're passionate about and what we're committed to, the second thing is our message. Beyond the just getting by, the message, the very specific message of we're here to help people who are struggling. In a broader context, we have our CU Link cooperative advertising campaign, and the new theme for this campaign for 2018 is there's real strength in our numbers. So a little bit more data. CUNA recently did some research for their consumer awareness campaign, and there are 4 major myths. These are some of the things that consumers say when they're surveyed about credit unions. One, they think it's, believe it or not, there's still a significant percentage of people who don't realize they're eligible to join. I don't think that's as true in Michigan because of our cooperative advertising. We need to help people understand that everybody can join a credit union. Sadly, and this is where the prior message might conflict a little bit, we need to make sure that we have a campaign like this that runs alongside the Just Getting By campaign, because a lot of people still think that credit unions were organized just to serve the poor and that that's what we do. Well, we're passionate about that, but we serve everyone from all walks of life, and we need to communicate that. Sometimes people perceive credit unions are less accessible, so our branches and our ATM locations aren't perceived as being convenient enough. And the fourth thing is they don't think we're sophisticated enough, that we have the professionalism and the ability to protect them against fraud and cybercrime and provide professional services. That's from the CUNA data. So this campaign that we've had in Michigan for decades that has really grown with your support, 100% of you support CU Link. We put over $2 million into the campaign, and we have a real commitment from Michigan credit unions to cooperative advertising. We measure this every year, and if you look at the line there, the simple question that we ask in Michigan of consumers is if you were to set up a banking account today, would you consider a credit union? Or would you consider a bank as your most likely choice to set up an account? Notice back in 2004, only half of those surveyed said they'd consider a credit union, the blue line. And since 2011, we have overtaken the perceptions of interest in setting up a bank account versus setting up an account with credit unions. So we are moving the needle. I love this data. It reinforces that our value proposition, when we partner with organizations like Sprint for a credit member discount and others, or when we talk about the credit union difference, our data shows that people are twice as likely to say they trust their credit union, they're twice as likely to recommend their credit union to a friend or family member than would be a bank customer. So, likewise, our data also shows that even in Michigan, a third of the respondents from our research think that we don't have enough branches and ATMs. Even though there are 20,000 credit union offices in the US and 1,000 combined branches, many of them linked together through shared branching. But that's a perception we need to overcome. Similar to CUNA's findings, a quarter of the people surveyed in Michigan think that our ATMs are inconvenient. And the third point here, this is actually a cup 90% full. So we had a data point here that said 10% think that we don't offer a good value on rates and fees. Well, I flipped that around. That's actually the good news. 90% do believe that we offer a great value. So I want to introduce now our 2018 There's Real Strength in Our Numbers campaign. I have a short video vignette here to show that announces what the campaign is going to be for next year. Please roll it.
Numbers matter. And for Michigan's credit unions, there's a story in our numbers. Think of a number, any number. Multiply that by 100. Thanks to you, 100% of Michigan's credit unions participate in cooperative advertising. When consumers search for auto loans, read an online publication, or skim social media, we're there. Think of another number. Now multiply that by 2 million, the media investment for CU Link this year alone, making it the most successful cooperative advertising campaign in the nation. When members are sitting in gridlock, gassing up their cars, or kicking their feet up at the end of a long day, we're there. Here's another number, 5 million. It's the number of Michiganders who trust you with their financial well-being because you make them feel like number one. Everywhere we look, there are numbers. Some are inspiring, like a 16-year-old looking for their first car. Some are terrifying, like the savings needed for college tuition or to start a new business. But that's why you're here, to help these numbers make sense to every single one of your members, their families, and the people in your communities. Credit unions are there as a trusted partner. It's what we're all about. Through mobile banking, e-deposits, or surcharge-free ATMs, we've listened to our members, and it's time to let the numbers speak. Introducing the new 2018 CU Link campaign. There's real strength in our numbers. We'll focus on those numbers we juggle every day. Small numbers like 5%, the average difference in credit card rates between credit unions and banks. Everyday numbers like $200, the average savings on closing costs for credit union members. Or $118, the average amount a person saves in interest on that new $25,000 auto loan every year. These quickly turn into big numbers, like $373 million, the amount Michigan credit unions saved their members last year alone. When it comes to buying a home, saving for a vacation, or starting a business, the numbers tell the story. And our numbers rival anything banks can offer. These numbers can seem small at first, but they become something greater when you look at the impact they make. Michigan's credit unions give their members a financial advantage every single day. With this campaign, our goal is simple: create awareness for Michigan's credit unions to increase cross-sell opportunities and introduce the benefits of your credit union to a new generation. Like our current campaign, this one will make an emotional link between your members' daily lives and the benefits of using a credit union. But we can't do it alone. When we work together through a cooperative effort, we all grow stronger. With our last campaign, we invested more than $4 million across media channels to showcase the credit union difference to the nearly 10 million people who live in our state. While 4 million and 10 million seem like pretty big numbers, they all come down to just one. Because to you, your members are number one. For Michigan's credit unions, it's time. There's real strength in our numbers.
What inspires me about cooperative advertising and your commitment to it is not just how we move the needle, but how it helps us internally within our credit unions and within our industry understand and be reminded of how we're different. And I thought that video did a really nice job of describing what's in store for 2018. So our campaign is about helping us reach out to 10 million citizens of Michigan to get that message out, so that we can not just bring on new credit members, but deepen the engagement and the trust and the understanding of how credit unions are here to help them. A couple of your peers shared some perspectives on cooperative advertising. I'd like to run a short video with their thoughts as well.
I think cooperative advertising is so important. You know, as the financial services landscape changes and a lot of us become competitors in ways that we never were before, I think it's still very important that we recognize that, you know, coming together as a cooperative and participating together is where we really become strong.
You know, I really love this theme. I love the idea of using numbers. Numbers are very powerful, very concrete, and I think using them in this campaign really helps quantify the value of credit union membership.
You know, I like the play of strength. Strength implies that, you know, credit unions are strong. We're not always seen or thought that way. So that word, I think, is very meaningful, but also the numbers aspect.
We often say that, you know, our rates are lower than banks, but when we can say, on average, our credit card rates are 6% lower than a bank, that's really powerful, and that's the credit union difference.
So Lisa is actually the chair of our Credit Union Difference Committee, and our committee and our board and our staff have put together this great new theme for next year. So we have $2 million to invest, but the message here is we'd like to have all of our credit unions contribute the full fair share and get engaged and committed to cooperative advertising. And as a full fair share contributor, you're going to have money back to integrate with your campaign, and you're going to have access to the Just Getting By campaign at no cost. And there are several other value adds. But our target is millennials, and secondary audience would be those 35 to 54. So that's really a pitch and at the same time an announcement. I hope you like the theme, and I hope that you leave here and get back to your shops and double down on what you've done so well for decades, which is collaborate and work together to help us spread the word. I don't know about you, but I've heard again and again from people within the industry that, and people outside the industry for that matter, who say that credit unions is one of the best kept secrets, because we have what people need, but oftentimes we're not doing all that we can or should be doing to get that message out.